What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at Venezuela Massacre. Just kidding, it's Peru Kill. I don't know how they got that name, but it's locked down from the movie by Unique Toys, I believe, or DX9, one of the two, same company. I don't know. First and foremost, this was sent to me by Robert D to check out. He was confident, being how I love alt modes, that I will love this, and he's mostly right. There are some things I don't particularly like about it, but I think that's pretty minuscule. Before we really talk about the car, though, let's talk about accessories. We've got a steel jaw here, which has some articulation on the head. Really would have liked to have seen some LED eyes or something in here. Like, they're clear and they're red, but they look just lifeless and dead. There should have either been painted or been a switch on here somewhere to turn that on, something like that. As it stands, a little lifeless. Some great sculpting on the body here. This is like a soft rubbery plastic. I don't really remember Steeljaw very much from the movies, but I'm sure he was there, and I'm pretty confident this is a good representation of him. Articulation on this guy, pretty basic. Ball joint here, swivels on the knees, swivels on, or ball joints I should say, on the feet here. Kind of missing a joint here, but I think given what it is and the size of it, it works. I don't remember if in the movie he had a tail or not, but I will say that the figure here looks a little incomplete without a tail that could just plug in or something there. But it's not bad. I mean, it's a big chunky piece of plastic to put on your movie shelf if you're into that. He also comes with the big crazy gun, which was a head gun. You saw it was mounted on Steeljaw here. Beautifully sculpted here, like tons of sculpted detail. Nice little paint pickouts here. Actually, I'm pretty sure the whole gun is like a black metallic paint here, which looks great. And then they've picked out some of the little silver pieces and like the bullets. Great job. No complaints there. You can go ahead and take this down, and I believe it's in, which one is it? I'm sorry, it's this one here that we can flip down, put this up, and if you want, you can plug it on into the back here. Where is it? The front? Pretty sure it's the back. And make a big honking gun on the Lambo if you want. Not bad, not my cup of tea, but I mean, I'm sure there's been more egregious things that have been done with big guns. Also, we've got an alternate face here, which was, if I was going to get this, this is what I would display him in, mostly because I don't have a movie collection. We got this like seed thing, which I don't really remember the movie Lockdown was in. I've tried to put it mostly out of my memory. I'm pretty sure that this was a prop from it that was important for at least a second. And then we've got this claw thing here, which looks like things move around. There we go, just like that. Kind of making like a little hook hand type thing. And that's it for the accessories. So on to the car mode here. I will say we have these mirrors that just come out here. I guess they're kind of accessories too. You can relocate them in robot mode. We'll leave them right here and we'll show you why you'll want to relocate them later. We do have some nice transparents and some different paint accents on this guy. Like the exhaust pipes are picked out, the rims and the rotors and the brakes are picked out. Nice clear on the headlights there. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's all metallic black paint job to this whole thing. Trying to see if there's any place that you can see just like black to see if it's just cast in a metallic black or painted. I think it might be cast in metallic black, but whatever it is, it ends up looking really nice through the car mode. So let's get to what I don't like about the car mode. The very first thing when I open this box is, man, this guy is huge. And it may not be easy to see that here, but here he is next to your regular MP. And you can just see that he just blows away going on an MP scale shelf for me. And I believe the Bumblebee is pretty close to this. So this guy's just obnoxiously huge almost. In fact, this Jazz here, done by Generation Toy, scales pretty okay with the MP line. And I've actually got a picture of this Porsche and the Lamborghini Aventador next to each other, and actually a Camaro next to each other. So yeah, so as you can see in that picture, the Camaro would by far be the biggest, so it really doesn't make sense for the Aventador to be that big comparatively. So here I've also got the Generation toy and the Masterpiece next to it, and you can just see how the Generation toy really scales with the traditional MP much differently than the Unique Toys one does. But, you know, I mean, that's a complaint for me. You may not share that complaint. You know, I kind of am a car person, so I don't really love the scale, but I recognize in Transformers we have to be okay with scales not being correct. Here he is next to an MP Prime, just for comparison here. And yeah, going back to scale, I mean, Bumblebee's really small compared to the MP cars, so if you're okay with that, and I am, then you can be okay with this, even though it does end up bothering me. And you know what? I don't know what that is here. Just saw that. I don't know if that's a... I guess it's whatever. I don't know what that was. Something from a factory or someone who reviewed it last. Bobby. I don't know. It's on there. Something on the finish, but it's fine. These mirrors, this one bothers me. It really kind of moves really freely, and I feel like it's probably easily lost if it's not given... We can't give it super glue. You have to give it clear nail polish so it stiffens it up but doesn't make it a permanent bond. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So you can transform this guy with the mirrors attached. We're just going to leave them there, and we're just going to go ahead and get this thing transformed. We'll start by pulling up this here and separate the sides here, just like that. And he does have this like interesting like spring-loaded piece here that pops up. Yeah, I don't know. The thing that I'm worried about here is that it's held on by friction here. And with that spring-loaded piece working against it all times, I just feel like, I don't know if you can see that, but this has been through Robert's transformations and Bobby's, and I feel like this is starting to wear a little. It still holds solidly, don't get me wrong. I just am a little worried that in time it may not anymore. Anyway, take the backs of the car and bring it out like that, and we'll just go ahead and work on the feet while we can, because it just makes the most sense to me to do it that way. We'll go ahead and flip the door out like this, bring this piece up, and we'll figure out where everything needs to go in a second. Bring the back of the car around on that hinge so you get the clearance to actually rotate it down. And then what's going to happen is this piece here is going to fold all the way up like this, and you can see the plug in here. So plug basically the back quarter panel into the back of the car, and you can go ahead and bring this all the way down. Now this is a problem. This piece here doesn't really lock in any meaningful way, and it will be a problem throughout. Now maybe it's just me and I don't remember what lockdown looked like, so keep that in mind. The legs on this guy almost lend themselves to be like in the chicken leg configuration, but I think I have a preference to making it more human looking. So if it is chicken leg and I have it wrong, my apologies. From the reviews I've seen, everybody else seems to think that he has straight legs too. So we have this piece, just kind of fold that up. I wish there was more to that. Again, it's on a very loose hinge, so at some point, or maybe if yours varies, it may not stay up, and I think that's a design flaw. And then this part here of the door rotates in and up, and you'll never get it down without a tool. So take the other leg, we'll go ahead and do the same thing here. Lift this piece up like so, bring it on around. Make sure that we have this piece freed up so we can bring it over. Bring the back of the car around. Plug it into position. Once again, fix that, straighten it out. Bring the toe thingy in and bring this up. And now we pretty much have it. You're just going to take these legs here and rotate them forward, and that makes the legs. And you see that you have the mirrors here just like that. You kind of want to rotate them like this if you want to leave them on there, and I think it looks goofy. I really wish that something kind of folded open and you could fold these around, but you can't really ding the points for it because you can just take them off, and they did build in some storage later on. but we'll get to that when we get to that. So from here, we're going to unclip like this waist piece, which is holding his hands together. Pretty cool how they did that. And that's just going to fold on down like this. We can now take these pieces and fold them all the way up. And we'll go ahead and work on this back section. Kind of bring these mirror or window pieces like this. Bring this all the way down. And bring this piece back. From here, we're going to hopefully unclip the front part of the car here and kind of open it up, and you can see exactly what's going to happen. The head's going to swing on through there, and then what we want to do is take these, kind of fold the arms like this and fold them around to the side. By doing that, that's going to give us all the clearance we need to bring these two like armature pieces down, and then bring this down, and you can see you have the plugs on the side here that are going to plug into here. So go ahead and fasten them in place. And I will say, Unique Toys did a really nice job with a bunch of little like spring-loaded gimmicks to kind of give this guy a little bit of depth. That said, Robert's going to hate when I say it, but I feel like he still is a little flat on some areas. Anyway, come back to the front bumper piece and fold that like that. This piece can just basically, as you can pretty much tell what's going to happen, all this folds up and then this folds up, and you're going to plug it right into there. Then you're going to come around here, and you can see these tabs here are going to go into this front piece. Can be a little tricky to get lined up, but it shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Take these windows now, and they fold down, and I really like how that part works. Like turning the side glass of the car into like the cod piece, like I think that is my favorite part of this whole transformer. So we got this like that. We can take these little pieces, fill these out just to give a little bit more depth, and then fold the arms all the way down and fold them to the side so we can actually bring his hand out. And I believe it's supposed to be like that. It's kind of difficult to tell, and this is getting to the part of the stuff that I don't necessarily love about this figure. Take this piece here, and in an attempt to kind of fill this out, you're going to bring it like that, and then you're going to kind of rotate it. It doesn't really lock the arm. You can see how it's kind of intended to work. Yeah, and then take this and bring it up like that. On this side, again, bring it down. Bring this down. Flip the arm like so. And I always feel like this piece that springs out to give him a little depth is supposed to be on the side, but it is supposed to be at the bottom based on how the elbow works, unless I am mistaken. And you know what? I like these arms a little bit better than I gave them credit for, because I didn't notice something in the instructions. Once you have that, take this piece and fold it around, and that is going to solidify the connection there. So that's nice. I didn't realize that was there when I transformed them a couple times before. And I will say, not a big fan of the instructions on this guy, because they're on like a poster and then they jump around like crazy. I don't know why they really did that. So anyway, wasn't really telling you things, but you can see most of it was just slight adjustments of things. But there we go. We've got lockdown in his robot mode. You can take the mirrors, and my apologies if I have the wrong runs on the wrong side here. And they have these little peg holes here. That one's gone forever. Just kidding, Robert. I'm not going to lose it. But they have these peg holes here that just peg into the arm here to store. And you can push them flat, but the flatter you push them, the harder they are to get out. So let me find that one before it is actually lost forever. And we'll come back and look at him in robot mode. So recently I've taken in not really doing too much articulation unless I can show you something that's wrong. And you can see most things work kind of how you would expect. There is a little bit of a limited movement from some of these parts. The head, it kind of works fine. He gets them up and down based on that neck joint and side to side, but the chin pretty much always bangs into like the collarbone piece here. When it comes down to his waist, doesn't really, I mean, he has like a crotch swivel, which I guess helps make it look a little bit more natural, but it does limit him. He can't really get any cool pose where you gotta kind of turn his body a little bit more. The legs here, they have these little pieces here that like to pop out. They're on a spring, so they're supposed to, don't get me wrong. The legs work just fine. Again, you start running into problems because the kibble starts banging into other pieces down here. My least favorite part is these legs though, because like I said, it's like they're supposed to be, I don't know, like they honestly look like they're intended to be chicken-legged more than they are straight-legged. So as a result, like the stuff, I mean, is that why that's like that? Or is it just for going to alt mode? I'm not sure. So just to be clear, I did take the box to check and see what their intent was, and it's definitely not chicken legs. So when it comes to this, this all really should have locked maybe down a little better, because it just, I don't know, it's odd. It's very odd. So if you want to put on his spare face, you can come in and try to pry his existing face off, which can be easier said than done, but it should come off. Come on, there we go. Which leaves that, and you can put this on. And like, I really was considering getting this guy just to put that face on and have him like kind of like a Decepticon shock trooper. So if you love the scene where he had a big gun for a head, you can go ahead and do that, and that plugs right in like that. It's fine. And that all happens by pulling the gun apart so you can access it and plug that tab in. So of course, if you want, you just fold up his hand and you can attach the hook so he can bring a hook to a gunfight. You know, that's logical. I will say that this guy has ratchets on things like his knees, which are great. And almost everything else is friction. So like this is fine, but yours could be loose. I don't see a way you can really tighten it to make it tighter, so I'm not sure what's going to happen if this gives out at some point in time. Again, it's a friction joint for the shoulder, and just even kind of messing with this a little, I mean, like, I've got the claw hanging by the side, and you can see that it really doesn't hold its own weight, which may not be a problem now, but you'll be surprised when you take it out, you know, like 5 years from now, and he's kind of a floppy mess. I don't know. So I wish they used more ratchets and stuff on this guy. Now I will say, like, the detailing that they put in, all the extra detail and the little paint accents, like the little pops of orange and stuff, they look brilliant, and he doesn't look flat and lifeless on a shelf. So here he is for reference next to MP Prime. I don't have the movie one for comparison, and I frankly don't really remember if he was this big in the movies. But I feel for someone who comes from an Aventador for an alt mode, it's just way too big. Compared to your normal MP, like if this guy was like maybe MP Ironhide size, like I think I would have picked him up for my con shelf, but at this time, he's looking eye to eye with Megatron, and I don't care for that. But if you do have the MP Prime from the movies and the MP Bumblebee, like I really do think this guy's worth picking up if you are a movie enthusiast. He is beautifully sculpted and everything, and he comes with some great accessories. So let's get this guy back to his vehicle mode and let's get out of here. We'll start by taking these mirrors off because I always forget they're there when I'm trying to transform them. Bring these down on both sides. Just kind of rotate these back down and around like so. I always have this tendency to forget exactly how the hands are supposed to look until we end up getting there, but we'll get there. We'll go ahead and disconnect these pieces so this can all freely move away as it was intended. And it looks like we need our little magic spudger tool to get in here and kind of release that piece just like so. So from here, I'm pretty sure that it's up like this, and we will see if I have it correct shortly. I've only transformed this guy a handful of times, and I always forget exactly how the arms and the hands are supposed to look. But we'll get there. Don't worry. It's not really a big deal if we don't have it right this second. We'll go ahead and release these glass window pieces, or plastic I guess, but whatever. It would be glass if he were real, and they do peg in pretty solidly. You'll find that you need this tool quite a few times on lockdown, in my opinion. In fact, let's go ahead and do his feet here, because I cannot move these things by hand no matter how I try. So once we have that, we can disconnect this. We can disconnect this, and you can kind of see we're going to be making the back of the car here. Take this piece, disconnect it, rotate these pieces up like that, rotate this out, rotate the head, well, rotate this thing up while bringing the head all the way through, like so. Then from there, these armatures work their way up, and it should kind of fit in position just like so. So now we can kind of figure out, whoops, not quite, sorry. Bring these pieces, rotate them down and around like this. And rotate the pieces here so they go to the front. Now we can bring these pieces down. And then once that's in place, you can secure the wheels here. And this is where real quickly we'll figure out if we have the arms in the right position or not. Because when you go to fold them up, they're either going to work or they're not going to work. And in this case, they don't work. So my next guess is we fold them like this and bring them like that, I'm gonna say. Again, can never remember which way these hands go, so you'll just have to bear with me. There we go. Let's try that. Whoops. If we bring the right piece over here, that is. So that's in place. That's in place. And boom. I think we got it correct. Excellent. So bring these glass pieces up like that. And I will say these glass pieces do love to move out of the way as you're working with them. That's okay. We'll get it all sorted out when we get there. And we can bring the front bumper of the car on in like so. Now we'll get to the feet. I always start by rotating them to the side like this, because I know that we need to have it that way. Oh yeah, and we can take these pieces. Once they're there, fold this up and get them pegged in here to ensure that they're held in the right location. There you go. So now we're on to the feet here. We're going to take this, kind of rotate it on around, and you can see that joint moving for transformation purposes. Bring this here, take this piece, disconnect the back of the car, and rotate it around so it's in its proper location. Bring this piece up and separate it. And this will come up on this joint here. Just like so. And then that should slide down here, and you can see all this stuff will collapse together just like so. So let's try to do that again for the other side. Bring this down, disconnect the back of the Lamborghini, kind of rotate it around so you get things out of the way. Bring this around and peg this together. Drop that into place. Take this, bring it forward. So now that we have that, you kind of collapse everything on in just like this. And then you want to push that spring-loaded piece in and kind of line this stuff up. And it should peg into position. And do it on this side too, so we can push on both sides of the car here. And this can be a little bit tricky to get it all to line up, but it should find its spot and clip on in just like that. Finally, bring this here, and this little piece here will kind of plop out of position, so make sure you push it down and then lock it with the back end of the car, and then we can tab the back end of the car together. And then hopefully everything looks good. If you need to make any little adjustments on the windows, well, you're kind of out of luck a little bit. But there we go. You got it like this. And then just go ahead and take the mirrors here and go ahead and plug them in. So there we go, we've got him back in his vehicle mode, and I think it's probably one of the best toys Unique Toys has ever done. I do wish there was some more ratcheted joints here as opposed to the friction joints. I don't know how he's going to be a couple years from now, but I mean right now as he stands, he's pretty good. If you're into the movie masterpieces, this guy's probably a must for you. Yeah, I think I'd be in. I don't know how he's supposed to scale with Prime, but assuming he's supposed to look eye to eye with the MP movie masterpiece Prime, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this guy. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.